as the title of this video suggests, my DXRacer chair did done broke itself. Now this is obviously not a massively serious issue considering I'm still sitting on it. The issue is actually the tilt lock. That's the thing that allows you to, lie back, put the bottom piece at a certain angle and then lock it in place. I'm not entirely sure how it broke. I've had it for about a year since my initial review. This is a review sample chair just to make it clear. And my impressions over the year have actually been really good. I have been using a small pillow on it. That's not for comfort or anything, it's just to protect the material because I actually quite like the chair and want to keep it a long time. But the tilt lock was basically just, sat down on it one day. I basically, ever since I've had it locked back in pretty much as far back as a position as it will go, and then I just move the back piece to where I, fancy it, where it's most comfortable. I then just sat down and it just snapped forward and it basically wouldn't lock itself back in position. I did try and take it apart and look at it, but unfortunately I just couldn't get it to work as there's a small sort of wire spring that seems to have snapped a piece off of it and means that the big clump of metal foot won't go into place to lock the actual moving parts. So yeah, I wanted to make this video because A, clickbait, and B, because DXRacer support was actually really awesome. Now, I spoke mostly with the support guys as opposed to the marketing team, who are the ones who actually gave me the chair in the first place, but the support staff were absolutely lovely, and I sincerely hope that if you do buy one of these chairs, you experience the same level of support I did. It was, it felt like I bought a 300 or whatever pound chair. Like, these are really expensive overall, and to have that level of support was awesome. Now, I'm happy to say that they actually sent me a full lower section, the actual control unit that allows for the locking and the height adjust, the central sort of pneumatic pillar or cylinder, and a full another set or a full another base with the plastic clips, the plastic covers, as I couldn't get mine apart. Basically, I've been sitting on it for about a year now, so they are all friction fit in and they're basically like cold welded to each other effectively. Like, it's that hard pressed in. So I've got a full another set of things. I'm going to be changing them out and then hopefully having a fully functional chair again. So as you can expect, I started putting the chair back together again by removing the base. One of the things that I was talking about with sort of good customer service was that since I couldn't get the control unit off from the base of the central column, they actually sent me a full new base and central column as well as control unit. And I put it all on and then basically had to go in it and realised that I actually had another problem with the central control units with the tilt mechanism, so I took everything apart again and this is basically an explanation of the problem that this unit has. So this is the replacement control unit, and basically I just put it together, obviously put it on the chair as you might have just seen, and this control arm was quite loose, especially when I tried to actually use it. The thought behind why this plastic clip here, the bit that actually does the rotation of this metal arm that pushes the foot down here under this piece and locks it onto that little lip there. The thought behind it is that the box that this came in had a very big gash in it. It looked like it had sustained quite a big impact at some point, and the problem with that is that obviously this wasn't, it came in a little bit of bubble wrap, and by a little bit I mean like this sort of layer worth of bubble wrap, and that was it. There was no external sort of packaging to it, so if it did sustain an impact, especially right on one of these control arms which was sticking out of the internal box anyway, then this plastic clip wouldn't have stood a chance. It is definitely still under a lot of tension at the moment, but right now this is completely not functional as a tilt unit, which was ironically the only thing I wanted to fix. I'm going to show you what's broken in this one, and perhaps I'll be able to transplant the mechanism into this one, but we'll have to see about that. This is the older control unit, the one that initially broke, and basically what happens when you move this arm, which if I move this up slightly, as you can see this plastic piece here is obviously intact. That's the normal motion it's meant to do, and it's meant to move this bar which connects to this sort of small plastic clip here, and under this metal plate there is a foot that moves. You may or may not, depending on the level of detail of the camera, be able to see these sort of teeth marks on this plate here. This plate is the bit that actually, it's too tight, but if I could move it, this plate is the bit that moves with these arms, and the foot that is under here would basically just latch onto this and grab it, and obviously this plate holds it down. So that's the way that the mechanism works. Personally, from what I've seen, this metal spring here is the culprit of why it doesn't work anymore. The connection between the arm, which is moving just fine, and the actual foot itself just doesn't exist anymore. Obviously, as you can see, moving it around means that the foot just doesn't move. So I'm hopefully going to be able to remove the working mechanism of this and put it in from the spare one into this one, and hopefully give that a fix. But I will let DXRacer know, and perhaps they will just say don't bother with that, we'll send a new one. But I'll let you know before the end of the video. Show you what actually broke. This is the assembly that connects the main actual rotating bit. This is the bit that moves when the top of the seat moves, and the assembly, the one with the hole there, sits kind of, I don't know if you can see that there, and then hooks in. The problem is that this is multiple sheets of metal, as you can see there, and it's sort of bolted together. But the thing is, this piece in its entirety, besides the metal spring, which is the thing that broke, is plastic. So the thing that connects the actual arm is this hole here, that's plastic, and this other housing is plastic as well. I don't know how well you can see, how well it's focused, which is none, but basically there's a sheared piece of plastic that's actually, I didn't realise it's stuck in the side there. So that piece of plastic is one of the two things, including the metal arm, that actually is meant to hold this foot to the piece. So both of those things have just straight up sheared off. Now the control arm that I'm trying to rip the bit out from, I can't quite see why for the moment, but at this point in time I can't get it to tilt, which means I can't get this arm out. But yeah, it's just, yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. For me, you can't really review a unit like this, at least from this, my hindsight perspective. You can't review a unit like this without actually taking a look at this sort of stuff, and taking a look at if it's made with plastic in the wrong places, the places that are going to be seeing high stress, especially even if they're using metal, what type of metal, and how sort of thin wire type metal that we're currently looking at. So yeah, I think it's important, especially with these types of reviews, to know what's actually inside them, and at least from now on anyway, any sort of mechanism like this, I think I will want to take a look inside and see how it's made and see how it works, because yeah, this is quite a big failure point, and I am surprised that for a premium product like this they are using plastic in this application and very thin wire. So yeah. So it's finally fixed. I'm happy to say that the chair is now sorted. If I undo it, it does, move around normally, but if I leave it nice and tucked back, it will lock itself in place, and that's all well and good. So I'm happy about that. I am quite sad that they did use plastic in the places that they do. I'm happy that the foot itself, the thing that is taking the load of the chair, is metal. That's awesome. But the fact that the the very, very thin wire spring and the plastic surrounding it, and the plastic housing that broke in the replacement, I'm sad that they used plastic there. It seems like it would be very easy for them to use metal. I mean, considering that they used metal for the other side, for the hydraulic lifting, everything on that side from the handle, well, obviously the handle itself is plastic, but the bar inside, the actual connection points, everything in there is metal. So to not use metal on the other side for the sort of tilt mechanism just seems like a penny pinching thing that for a chair that cost this much money to buy, I feel like you would definitely like to see that. Also, the other thing is I'm actually quite glad this happened. There's been a lot of frustration over just trying to get things out and all that sort of stuff, but I am glad that it's happened because it's given me an understanding of how these chairs work, and also given me an understanding that if I'm going to review chairs in the future, I really need to include this sort of level of detail, because this is a failure point. That sort of plastic in those places, and those very thin wire springs, really is something that I can see failing quite often. It's not necessarily something that, it's a complete fault with the chair. It's definitely good enough. I mean, it lasted me a year with absolutely no problems, but especially since I didn't use the tilt mechanism, I just left it locked in this position constantly. I just feel like it's a real shame that, they've gone that way. Also, just as a personal note and as a recommendation, I personally wouldn't now trust reviews that don't include this sort of detail just in the how this sort of stuff is made, especially these mechanical products. If a review doesn't have this sort of stuff, including my own, by the way, I'm very certain that I should have included this sort of information in the original review, and I will be putting an annotation to this video on that one so that people can come and check it out. But yeah, basically make sure that you read detailed reviews when you're buying this sort of stuff, or watch detailed reviews. I'm really glad that this happened, so I have this understanding. I hope you guys have learned a little bit about these sort of chairs and all that sort of stuff as well. I'd love to hear what you think about the chair. Do you have a DXRacer or a Nitro Concepts or a GT Omega or anything like that? Let me know in the comments down below what your experience has been. And yeah, I guess that's kind of that really. It ended up being a hardware video other than just hey, look at the good customer service. I'm actually really impressed with the customer service though. That is one thing that I'm really glad is awesome. So that's kind of the good point, the good check mark to go with the cons here. So yeah, I guess that's that really. If you want to check out this original chair review with my initial thoughts and that sort of stuff, feel free to check that video out. Also feel free to subscribe if you want more, well, potentially in detail reviews. Also feel free to like or dislike depending on what you thought. Feel free to follow me on Facebook and Twitter as well. Use my Amazon affiliate link whenever you're buying anything else on Amazon, and we'll see you all in the next video.